Megabucks 2, the biggest of the best. The site is the Harris chain of lakes at Leesburg, Florida. For 3 days, 233 meet the first test to qualify for the top 50 positions. Once the field is reduced, based on total weight of bass caught the first 3 days, the top 50 anglers compete one more day. At the end of that fourth competition day, the top 10 Bassmasters advance to the final 2-day round, competing for $375,000 in cash and awards. The final 2-day fish-off will take place on Little Lake Harris, a 3,000-acre lake that's been off-limits to these bassers. The 10 finalists starting even will compete on a 10-hole course. They'll fish each hole for 50 minutes, then rotate to the next fishing area. But that's 4 days away. Most of the Megabucks fishermen this first day cast artificial worms and crankbaits over the hydrilla and around the lily pads. The bass thereafter include pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn fish. The bass are here, and so are the anglers. A cold front has slowed the spring spawning activity, but there are still bass on beds such as this one. The female bass on this spawning bed is estimated to weigh over 10 pounds. A bass this large can take up to 24 hours to fully spawn, leaving the nest periodically, but returning with the male to lay eggs several times. When the first eggs are laid, the predators, mostly bluegill and sunfish, rush in and start to eat the eggs. During the spawn, the male and female bass stay together until the female completes her spawning. When fully spawned, she moves off, leaving the male to protect the eggs. The male bass will stay on the nest as long as he is physically able, or until the eggs hatch. If the male bass tires from protecting the bed, he'll move off, leaving the unhatched eggs to the mercy of the predators. The mortality of the spawn, due to predation, can be as high as 100%. The first day weigh-in finds the catching below expectation. But one angler, George Metters of Florida, seems to have found the right combination.
All right, George was in the top 10 last year. He struggled through those tough days, and I want you to watch the scale, ladies and gents. Watch the scale closely. 20 pounds, 13 ounces. A new leader. George? Yeah, that's way the big one. Now, what's the big one so far?
As the anglers head into this second day, yesterday's weigh-in leaves no doubt that it's still anyone's tournament. Tournament leader George Metters' 20-pound, 13-ounce bag of bass is not indicative of what it will take to qualify for the top 50. As of takeoff this morning, the 50th place angler has only 7 pounds, 7 ounces of bass. That's one fish here on the Harris chain. One reason for the small first-day catch is the weather. A cold front has moved through the area, dropping water temperatures and slowing the bass feeding activity. But for some today, like HUGH Crumpler of Missouri, things start off just great. And for others, like Forrest Wood of Arkansas, the morning is a little nerve-jangling. And bass hung up in lily pads is also dramatic for Florida's Jim Bitter, an angler who missed the top 10 in Megabucks 1 by only 6 ounces. And today is also nerve-wracking for young Bassmaster Joe Thomas of Ohio. The second day weigh-in, and HUGH Crumpler makes his move.
All right, HUGH Crumpler of Missouri. HUGH, what did you have yesterday?
511.
Today he has 4 bass, people. This is a remarkable catch of bass. This may well be the largest 4 bass we have had in our history of 2 or 3 years. I can't remember when. Watch it carefully. 4 bass that weigh 24 pounds and 5 ounces.
Keep the big one.
Your pleasure. One fish, is that the larger or the smaller of the two?
Larger.
Larger of the two, 7 pounds even. And let's weigh the other one. Boy, when you can bring that was what I was telling you earlier, being able to go out and be able to catch 1 or 2 big ones. You just blow this thing wide open. 9 pounds, 6 ounces, folks.
6, 7.
Well, it won't say 7 now.
It says it now.
Where? I see 7. I see 9, 6.
Look, there you go. It says 6.
9, 7.
Yeah.
Right on the break. Give him the weight.
And the bass caught today, like every day in a BASS tournament, are released back into the lake. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back from Megabucks 2 with more breathtaking fish-catching action. Don't go away. Day 3. It's now or never as these Megabucks fishermen try to catch the bass that will lift them into the top 50 survivors. Everyone knows that 183 anglers won't be here tomorrow. Some fishermen low in the standings go to the canals and try to catch the big spawning females, bass that are tough to catch. But the weight of one of these big bass, some up to 10 pounds, can move a Megabucks angler way up in the standings quickly if the bass bites and if the angler can catch it. Tournament leader HUGH Crumpler opts to return to the same area where he was successful yesterday, and he's glad he did.
Oh, yes, yes. Son, come here. Don't you get up there. Come here, fish. Yes, yes. Yes, sirree, bye. Come here, boy. Dot. Don't do that. Come here. Come up here. Come up here. Don't you do that. Let's get out of here. Come here. Come here. Ah! I love it! Ah!
Well, we brought you luck, eh?
Whoa, you stay right there. Don't you leave. Oh. Oh.
The third day weigh-in, and the last time the scales will go down in this tournament for 183 anglers. But even though they'll miss a chance for the big Megabucks, every angler eliminated this afternoon takes home a check for $500. How important is 50th place, the last name on the qualifying list? The 50th ranked angler takes home a minimum of $5,000, whether he catches a bass tomorrow or not. The last qualifying hurdle. Only 10 of these 50 Bassmasters will make the cut today. Only 10 will earn the right to compete in the final 2-day, $375,000 round of Megabucks. Although local favorite LAMAN of Lady Lake, Florida, started the day in second place, he must catch fish if he is to make the final cut. And ounces count. The weigh-in will determine the end of this Megabucks chapter. Stay tuned as the suspense mounts and the final 10 are determined. The Bassmasters will be right back. Megabucks 2, the final 10, the qualifiers, and the runner-up, number 11, the angler who almost made it.
Oh, I don't know. $7,000 to Guido. Guido, I'm sorry. You just, if you can, hang around. If anybody gets a bad cold and can't make it tomorrow, you're in.
Well, heart attacks happen, you know that.
Well, of course, you don't wish anybody any ill, do you?
I wish they'd all go with supper with me tonight.
What I've never seen. You realize how close you are? Guido, let's see if we can figure here just real quick. 38 pounds and 1 ounce, and the man above you had 31.11. 10 puny little ounces. We didn't even have a one bass that small.
I had a good time. I really did, and I had the greatest partner for the last day that a guy can have. Shaw and I, we worked awful hard today. I'm happy. Yeah. I'm really happy.
Let's hear it, folks. There he is. Dynamite Sport. Now, the next 10 gentlemen, I'm going to ask, if you would, folks, to please just give us a little opening right in here. We're going to bring those 10 men in here because they'll be immediately following this. We'll have a little pairing and a news conference. And
from Lady Lake, Florida, LAMAN.
And tomorrow's final field for the last 2 days of Megabucks 2.
Let me ask you about Little Lake Harris. When was the last time you set foot or boat on Little Lake Harris?
About 4 weeks ago.
Did you spend much time on it?
I spent a day on it.
You spent a day on it. Now, how do you compare Little Lake Harris tomorrow morning and fishing those 10 holes that you'll be fishing with the waters you fished the last 4 days?
Well, hopefully be able to put the same pattern together and come out pretty good, I hope.
All right, it's going to be an exciting 2 days. Rick sweated. He had a very slow start. I don't even remember the number of fish the first day. What was it?
315.
3 pounds, 15 ounces the first day. It was a slow start, and you knew you had the deck had to be shuffled quickly, and you came in with a great stringer yesterday to make, you really crawled into the top 50 yesterday.
Well, yeah, my last 3 days I've fished very well, and it's kind of, I tell you what's also great about this sport is Guido is some of the guys you draw, and my second day partner was the same guy that Guido was talking about with Shaw Grisby, and I fished mostly Shaw's fish, and my biggest fish that day was one that Shaw pointed out, and we sit there, and I really wasn't even going to fish the fish, and he said to fish it, so I threw over and caught it. And, you know, and people like Guido, too, you know, it hurts all of us when he doesn't make it, because we've all been there too many times, and we know what he feels when he doesn't make it. He's one of the hardest working fishermen there is. But yesterday I went to my fish. I hadn't fished in the first 2 days, and I did catch a good string off from it. And today I did not fish very well. I'm very fortunate to be here because I lost too many fish today. But fortunately, you know, it all worked out in the end.
All's even tomorrow, Rick. The best of luck to you. Let's have a nice hand. Got to ask this question. I know the pressure. I know the tension. I know the money out there because I've been involved in writing the checks. But why, if you knew there was a bass over there, why would you turn to Rick Clun and say, shoot at that bass? And rather than take it yourself, because it's you know, it's open season.
Well, I don't know. I just believe in fair play all around. It was my spot, and I'd practiced it, and I knew basically where the fish were, and I just couldn't see going in and you know, taking everything that was there. I felt it would kind of be unethical. I saw the fish, and I just told Rick, I said, there's 3 of them right here. And we were fishing bedfish at the time. There's one on my left, one in front of me, and one on my right. And I told him these 2 are little ones, and that's a good one. And I said, let's just go for them. And that's the way I try to fish all the time.
So he made the first cast toward the big bass.
We fished together. We probably made about the same cast, and he just out-finessed him. Just great. He's an excellent fisherman, one of the best there is. And so he caught the fish, and I guess the next cast I hooked a little buck and broke off just by accident. I hadn't retied and all, and so he made his next cast and caught that one. Put like 6 pounds or 7 pounds of fish in the boat in 2 casts.
Boy, he's something else. You're a good man as well. Let's give him a nice hand, Shaw Grigsby. Thank you, Shaw. Looking forward to tomorrow. Ken, coming from behind is something special, and you, I can remember paying you a check for $100,000. It took you out of the fishery biologist business and put you into professional bass fishing. You made the cut for the 50. You made it to the top 10, and this, of course, is the first time you've been in this kind of heat in your career. What's it feel like?
Well, it's like any other time. I'm going to go fishing tomorrow, and you know, there's always pressure anytime you go fishing to catch fish because competition is always there. It's always the fish, and you can't think about the Rick Cluns and the Shaw Grigsby and Hank Parker, the other guys that we're going to fish against. So you got to just think about trying to catch one more bass. And I knew I was down in the hole today, and started out not feeling very good this morning, but I started feeling pretty good when I started catching some fish, and ended up having one of the best days. And I knew I was due to have a good day, and I just finally had some bites and caught some fish.
Have you ever fished Little Lake Harris?
No, sir. I've been up close to the bridge, and that's it. It'll be interesting.
What, if anything, do you feel?
Well, I myself have never seen Little Lake Harris either, so I really don't know what to expect. I'll just go over there and basically fish the structure that's available with what I feel like is the best lure for that type structure. It's a shootout, and it really doesn't bother me. I'm not, you know, some of the guys said, well, I've spent a lot of time over there. I really don't think you need to spend that time over there. I've never seen the area today where I caught 17 pounds, so maybe I can do it over there.
Now, let me ask you a question. You've never been on Little Lake Harris, of course.
I've never seen it even at night.
Not even when you, at night? What the world does that mean? You ever flown over in an airplane?
No.
Not that you're aware of?
No.
Well, you know what the situation is. We've got a body of water over there of a couple of miles long and gridded off into 10 sections. And we'll have the holes numbered, and you'll be assigned a number by draw here in just a few minutes. And that hole you start on, and then we play musical holes from then on.
It's okay. If there's some riprap in there, I'll be all right.
There is no riprap except around the bridges.
That's where I'll fish.
Now, how do you feel? Now, you familiar with Little Lake Harris?
I tell you what, I'd feel a whole lot better if all these other 9 cats was over 50 years old, you know.
Oh, you think your age is starting to tell. Don't say that in front of me.
Well, you know, you might as well admit it. I mean, 25 or 35 is a little bit different than 53.
Well, are you 53?
Right, close.
You're as old as Forrest Wood.
I wish he had made it. That'd have been one that I wouldn't have had to worry about all that much as far as age is concerned.
You know, we had the oldest man in our Bassmasters Classic walk away with all the money.
Yeah, I remember that.
Charlie Reed. He did it, and he used his head, and I don't even remember him coming in with a sweat.
Well, you can do it. Like I say, I've still got 2 good days in me.
All right, we'll pull him for you, pal. You never fished Little Lake Harris?
I haven't been down in about a year.
All right, so it's really rookie water, fresh water for you.
Right.
We wish you well. Let's give him a nice hand, folks. The jig master from down Texas way. Lonnie, I know this is a big day for you.
Biggest one I ever had.
You came kind of crawling around, and like 230 men, you nibbled your way all the way and made the cut, and then finally sprung into the top 10. What does it going to be like for you? This, you know the concept, of course. You talk to your buddies, and you're going to be using, I presume, the same baits, or what's your strategy starting from zero?
I really don't know. I've never seen the lake. I really don't even know where it's at from where we're standing right now.
Just follow the boat tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Okay. I just start fishing shallow.
Now, I was going to ask a standard question of, have you ever fished Little Lake Harris? But you spent 2 days on it last year on the competition we had. So, do you feel that's going to give you any measurable head start on anybody else?
No, I don't think I'll have a head start. The only thing, I'm a little more familiar with the procedures over there. The patterns have completely changed. I know a couple areas that I'm looking forward to fishing because of the same patterns that I've been fishing for 4 days.
So really, you know where the nooks and crannies are, at least from last year, unless they've changed, but the shoreline and the pilings and the bridge area that'll be part of the structure you'll be fishing, but you at least have that in your head, so you can apply the experience you've had on the last 4 days to what you recall as being a part of that waterway, huh?
Yeah, I think so, but I'm just going to go out and have a good time. I really like to thank the Lord for the opportunity to be here again, and I'm just going to go fish real hard and just try to have a good time.
Florida's John Jones. Johnny Jones, where are you, son? Come on up here. You ought to be right proud of yourself. You weren't satisfied just to make the top 10. You weren't satisfied just to make the top 10. You just blew the top off of it.
I want to win.
You wanted to win it. Well, you've got to start off scratch now, you know. Now, being from Florida, have you ever had any great experience at all on Little Lake Harris?
Fished Lake Harris last time about 1979 or 80, I guess.
So you don't really have any recollections of what it was like?
Not really. Just a few little spots in there that I know what to throw in.
Are you going to change your pattern of fishing, or are you going to use basically the same approach that you've been using the last 4 days?
I fished 4 days on my fish with the same bait, and I'm fishing it over there.
What lure is it, if I might ask?
The Gambler worm.
You're going to stay with the Gambler?
Staying with the Gambler, and I'm going to throw it for 2 more days.
The final 10, the best of Megabucks 2. These are the anglers who will compete for the next 2 days for $375,000 in cash and awards, and for the winner, $108,000. And the Bassmaster television crew will be there, with the anglers, with the leaders from the start to the finish. You'll see firsthand how they hook, catch, and lose the bass that make this tournament super exciting. It's all here next Sunday, the best of the best, and the finale of Megabucks 2. Plan to be with us. For the Bassmasters, this is Ray Scott, and we'll see you here next Sunday.